For 4 long years, not a single soul stepped onto his land. A black rancher, all alone in the desert, haunted by the past. Until one day, 10 Apache warriors appeared at his gate, desperate, hunted, and asking for shelter. What happened next? No one could have predicted. This isn't a legend, it's a true story you'll never forget. He hadn't spoken to a soul in 4 years. No neighbors. No visitors. No letters. Just the wind scraping over dry dirt, the lowing of cattle in the distance, and the slow ticking of time inside a one-room cabin built by his own 2 hands. Elias Booker had lived alone on his Arizona ranch since the end of the Civil War. Once a soldier, now just a man trying to forget. He trusted no one. Not the army. Not the townsfolk. Not even the preacher who rode through once a month. People had a way of taking more than they gave. But everything changed one scorching afternoon as the desert sun bled into the horizon. That's when Elias saw them, 10 distant figures on horseback, their silhouettes shimmering through the heat waves. They weren't cowboys. They weren't lawmen. They were Apache riders, young, determined, and carrying a kind of desperation in their eyes. They didn't come with threats. They didn't ask for money. They asked for shelter. Just one night. A safe place to rest. What Elias did next would not only challenge everything he believed about trust, but leave behind a legacy no one would ever forget. This is his story. Elias Booker wasn't always a loner. He was born into slavery in Georgia sometime in the early 1830s. Like many men of his generation, freedom didn't come easy. It came after blood, after war, after loss. When the chains were finally broken, Elias didn't wait around. He headed west, riding alone with nothing but a battered mule, a worn Bible, and the weight of memories he rarely spoke about. For years, he wandered from town to town, breaking horses, fixing wagons, picking up whatever work he could find. But people talked too much, judged too quickly. Eventually, he found peace in a dry, forgotten stretch of land in southern Arizona. No one wanted it, so Elias claimed it, built a cabin with his own hands, dug a well, raised cattle, and lived without needing anyone. Locals whispered that he was too proud, too serious, too quiet. But Elias didn't care. He'd seen what people were capable of. Every Saturday, he rode into town for salt, beans, and tobacco. Never caused trouble. Never lingered. Never trusted easily. Not the settlers, not the army, and definitely not strangers. And then, one day, 10 riders appeared at the edge of his land, and they didn't come to trade. They rode in a tight, silent formation, 10 young Apache warriors, each one marked by exhaustion and resolve. Dust clung to their shoulders. Their faces were sun-worn, eyes alert with the weight of survival. Leading them was a tall, broad-shouldered woman, her presence steady and commanding. Her name was Atsa. She stepped forward, met Elias's gaze, and said calmly, "We seek shelter. Only for the night." Elias didn't flinch. One hand rested near his rifle, not in anger, but instinct. Years alone had taught him caution. He'd heard too many stories about raids gone wrong, men ambushed by those they tried to help. But Atsa's eyes didn't hold deception. They held desperation. She explained settlers had accused them of horse theft. False. But truth didn't matter. Soldiers were hunting them, shooting first, asking nothing later. Elias looked past her, a limping boy, another coughing uncontrollably. Some looked barely older than children. He hesitated, then quietly said, "You can stay one night." One night turned into 3. 3 nights turned into a week. Elias kept a close eye on them, watching every move. He expected trouble, stolen food, missing tools, maybe a disappearing horse. But it never came. Instead, the Apaches worked. They mended the broken fence that had sagged for months. They cleaned his barn without being asked. One of the younger ones even showed him how to collect dew from cloth at dawn, something Elias had never thought to do in the dry Arizona heat. He gave them beans, dried cornmeal, and whatever scraps he could spare. In return, they gave him respect, quiet, steady, unspoken respect. It wasn't friendship, not yet, but something unfamiliar was settling on that ranch, trust. One night, under a dark sky and crackling fire, Atsa looked at Elias and asked softly, "Why do you live out here alone?" Elias stared into the flames. Because people either wanted to own me or forget me. Atson nodded slowly. Then we understand each other better than most. A week after the Apaches arrived, trouble followed. 6 soldiers rode up to Elias's ranch, grimy, sunburnt men with hardened eyes and rifles ready. Dust still clung to their boots as they dismounted with purpose. "We're looking for Apache runaways," the lead soldier barked. "Orders are to bring them in, dead or alive." Elias stepped out from his porch, calm, unshaken. His shotgun rested across his shoulder, not raised, but ready. "You'll have to go through me," he said. The men looked stunned. One recognized him from town, a black man most folks ignored. "You'd protect them," the soldier scoffed. "After all they've done." Elias didn't blink. "They haven't done a damn thing but survive." Tension crackled in the dry air. After a long, silent standoff, the soldiers turned and rode off, muttering threats. That night, Elias told Atsa it was time. They needed to vanish, deeper into the mountains. Before leaving, Atsa placed a small leather pouch in Elias's hands. Inside, a carved Apache stone for brotherhood. "You gave us more than shelter," she said. "You gave us a reason to believe again." Elias stood alone once more, but this time, the silence felt like peace. A black rancher lived alone for years, until 10 Apaches asked for shelter on his ranch, and what happened next changed everything. If stories like this move you, subscribe to the Black Visionaries family right now. Smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this with someone who needs to hear powerful, forgotten truths. Real stories. Real impact. Only on Black Visionaries. Asterisk.